This Matchday 21 brackets continued picks edition of the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use the code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. We're also brought to you by Cut. Cut is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's US-based and available in 40 states. Head to cut.com, that's KUTT.com. Use the promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. And the SGPN merch store, 15% off everything when you use the promo code PLAYOFFS. Welcome, everybody, to the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is, I've got no idea, Wednesday, the 17th of January. There we go. We are here to pick over what I believe was a successful midweek of FA Cup picks, in stark contrast to the third round day itself. And we've got the second half of Matchday 21, the little split games. 5 games last weekend. We did all right. 5 games this weekend. Joining me, I think he's back. Had a bit of a day of it, I believe, is Mr. Barry Penaluna. Baz, how are you doing?
Yeah, it's been frantic today. I literally just got back from Newcastle about 10 minutes ago. But yeah, been up for a funeral, so not the best of days. Although, you know, always nice to catch up with family and all of that sort of stuff. Funeral at 10:30 this morning for my gran who died over Christmas. In the pub for 11:30 and had about 7 hours.
What pub did you go to? Have you been in St. T's or?
No, we went to PTE Club, Shields Road.
Oh, nice.
Shields Road, and I've had about 7 hours worth of gin in me. I'm now hungover because I've had 3 hours in the car. You try driving after half a litre of gin, Malcolm? It's hard, like. Tell you what.
Well, especially with your laptop on your knee, Barry, as well, making notes. I mean,
no, obviously the other half is driving. So yeah, I am starting to now feel a little bit ropey, having not had a drink for 3 hours. And I sat and thought, should I have a glass of wine with this podcast? And I thought, no. I went for a glass of water. I thought, let's be sensible.
You messaged me about 3 hours ago saying you were full of gin. And then I thought, oh, no, this might not be good. But then you never waver, like whether you're drunk, hungover, really drunk. You only waver about 2% from the norm anyway. I mean, I'm up and down like a bride's nightly. Like, you never go far. So I knew I knew you'd be sitting here absolutely fine, but.
I think the only thing to say is I caveat any of my picks tonight with the fact I am full of gin. Like, I hadn't looked at anything because we drove up to Newcastle last night late on. Didn't get up there till 11 o'clock at night. And then busy all day today. So I haven't had a lot of time to look at it. So I have been doing it on my knee, in the car, on the laptop. So I have very brief analysis of these games. But I do have a pick for every game. That's all that matters. But yeah, I'll definitely caveat with the fact I haven't paid a huge amount of attention. But yeah, we're here. That's all that matters. Still,
you built up enough credit, Baz, over the last. You still got his funeral suit on.
I've literally just walked in and put a hoodie on. I've still got me shirt and black tie underneath.
Hey, Barry, it's what Nana would have wanted. Let's be honest. Yeah, exactly. She would have wanted you sitting here making picks for everybody. No, I mean, I appreciate you joining us because I am a bit of a shit day being an adult myself. Just that, a couple of friends I found out were going through some stuff as well, and then obviously I knew you were doing what you were doing today. My daughter's 14 tomorrow, so she came downstairs before and she was full of it as well. But she was, and because I was a little bit melancholy anyway, like And then she was so grown up and beautiful. That was sending us over the edge, but I was a bit emotional. So I very much appreciate the fact that we can sit here today and amongst friends, amongst all the people who are in the chat and with each other, and have a little bit of daylight, Barry, by making some picks and talking some football and being stupid for 45 minutes. Yeah, it's appreciated because I'm sure there's listeners who've got shit going on as well. The daughter's birthday tomorrow, Barry. What I think she's done is Googled things that cost £200 and just asked for all of them. I don't think she cares what it is, as long as it costs £200. Christ, absolutely. It's a good job I worked non-stop through December because I'd be in the poorhouse. So we need to pick some winners as it stands. FA Cup weekend midweek replays had just finished about half an hour ago with Nottingham Forest and Blackpool going to extra time. Forest squeezed through. I did all right. We made 4 picks. I returned 4.5 units. Newport was a lovely pick. Pick the week 6-4 Newport. And then Everton Palace, both teams to score no. And I think I said one of these teams will win 1-0. And it was never not going to hit. So I did all right. Happy. Keep chipping away with a little bit of profit. But I know you did great last night. Yeah, we were back up another ladder last night, Barry. And then you hit the rest of the stuff tonight as well.
Yeah, had absolutely everything on the FA Cup picks. I made 4 picks, 4 games. Hit a lot. If you took the 3 together last night, you'd have got a 10-1 treble. That was Newport. It was Wolves to score 2 or more. And it was Luton 6 or more corners. Those 3 all came in. And then tonight I had Forest to score 2 or more. The corner ladder, which we put out on Luton, as you know, Malcolm, New Year resolution was more ladders. We hit the Dubravka saves ladder. We hit the Man City shots ladder at the weekend. We put the Luton corner ladder. Started at 6. You were getting 11 to 10 plus 110 for 6 corners. They had 7 by half time, so we'd cashed the 2-1 shot by half time, and they went up to 9. I felt a little bit unfortunate not to go further. Having got to 7 at half time, you're thinking we'll hit 10s and 11s here, but you can't get greedy. Yeah. The 9, I think.
Where you went wrong, Barry, was you messaged me. I could tell you were quite excited. The minute you messaged me, it just stopped. Don't make that mistake again. That should have been your resolution. Don't let me in on any of these winners because I'll mush up.
Well, yeah, we got all the way up to a 6-1 shot on the ladder anyway, so it done good. I know Pat had got involved. Brian and Lenny from the Discord had got involved. So there's a few people on the ladder, which was good to see. But yeah, 4 out of 4, absolutely smashed it. As James in the chat says, Baz wishes it was FA Cup every week.
Yeah.
This week, yeah, the previous round of FA Cup games wasn't brilliant. I think it just about broke even. But yeah, cracking week for me. Couldn't have asked for any more. Really, really solid midweek session. So good stuff.
You just mentioned Lenny, the cheese farmer chat in the Discord channel this week has been a highlight. After you did the cheese or motorway services quiz last week, turns out that Lenny's got 700 sheep and he's knocking out cheese at a rate of knots, or he was anyway. So that made me laugh this week. And the YouTube comments is live and kicking. Who Callum was first in. Ty, Duke, James. Hope you're enjoying your holly bob still in London. Courtney's here. We've got James who we were just talking about there. Pat is buzzing that Norwich got a win in the FA Cup tonight. And Brett, our resident and only Fulham fan, is here as well. So good evening, everybody. I've been watching a little bit of AFCON in Asian Baz. China failed to score again, all 1.41 billion of them. Yeah, another 0-0 draw to take. Come on, lads, you can do it. See if we can stick one in the net before you get knocked out that tournament. My 100-1 shots went all right, though, Baz. Jordan won 3-0 against Malaysia. So unless something terrible happens, he'll get out the group. In Guinea, who won me 100-1 shots in Africa, got a draw against Cameroon, and also they're in a decent position. I've noticed a couple of things about the African Cup, Baz. First thing is I love the kits. Kits tonight. The DR Congo against Zambia tonight was great. A great kit matchup. Zambia had this bronze affair. I haven't really seen a bronze kit before. There's the odd gold kit, but this was a bronze affair, and it was absolutely beautiful. But what you do get in AFCON, Baz, and this is from the past. This is from history. It used to be a staple in international tournaments. The directors and the cameraman, Barry, aren't afraid to show an attractive woman when the ball's gone out for a throw-in. Like, that used to be a thing all the time, didn't it? Ball would go out like, oh, here's a bird with big knockers. You don't see that anymore. I think the last tournament I remember that was Brazil 2014, was it? The World Cup. And now you don't see it anymore. It's back in Africa. It's absolutely fine. It's thrown for Angola. Here's a couple of lovely birds. Corner to Mauritania. Look at her boobs. Like, it's quality. So I'm all for that. And I think that's about all my my news and notes, Barry, before we get on with making any picks. Do you have anything else?
No, I think that's about it from the FA Cup. I haven't had the chance to watch a lot of it, to be fair, so not caught up with a lot. Obviously, West Ham went out last night to Bristol City, continue to be very unpredictable at the moment. West Ham, Nottingham Forest. You can't say Notts Forest. Nottingham Forest made hard work of it last night. But no other observations from this midweek.
No other observations. So we've got the second half of this Premier League slate to get into. There's tons of ads, Baz. I'm going to read some out now. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs, bringing you an offer make help the playoffs electrifying. That's not even right. New customers bet $5 on any game and get 200 instantly in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the code SGP. New customers bet $5 to get 200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with SGP. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-3669. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Bootle Casino Resort in Kansas. 21 plus. Age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. That's 7 days. See dkng.com/football for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Did you get all that, Baz?
Something about Hope NY. I got that bit.
Yeah, text that. 7 with some 7s in it. So, no Friday night game. The Friday night game was last week was Luton Burnley because it was moved because of the FA Cup. So we start on Saturday lunchtime, 12:30 kickoff, 7:30 Eastern time between Arsenal and Crystal Palace. Arsenal are 1-3, -333. The draw is 19-4, plus 575. Crystal Palace are 8-1. So yeah, Arsenal are making a bit of a dog's breakfast of this at the moment. They're down to 4th now. They've got no win in 3 in the league. They lost the last 2, and they're out of the cup after losing to Liverpool as well. So a bad spell. They've actually lost 3 of the last 5 in the Premier League. One of the patterns we've really liked since we started this show is Arsenal to smash up sort of bad teams at home, bottom half teams at home. But it hasn't really happened this year. And I wasn't interested in an Arsenal ladder, a team total, a handicap, anything like that. Palace are in a right mess, so I've got no interest in anything Palace are up to at the minute. They won the last game. Some of these teams haven't played for ages, or the form lines are a bit sort of truncated just because we've had FA Cup, we've had FA Cup replays, and we've had a blank weekend. So it's hard to sort of apply recent form. But the big Brentford, who have been the league whipping boys really recently in the last game, that was on the 30th of December. But before that, they had no win in 8. They've looked terrible in both games against Everton in the FA Cup. Actually, they weren't terrible tonight, but they never looked like scoring a goal. So not interested in an underdog here either with Crystal Palace. They've got no Elise. I don't know when Elise is going to be back. If Palace are going to get a result, they need Elise and Eze in the team. Otherwise, you've just got to put a line through them. Like, some of the stats I picked out, Baz, which led to my pick here. Arsenal scoring goals at home, 2.2 goals per game at home. And in 80% of their games, Baz, they've scored in the first half at home. Palace are conceding 1.45 goals per game away. And have conceded 70% of the time in the first half as well. So Arsenal to be leading at half-time, Barry, is 4-5, -125. It was a difficult game because you got a very short price favourite, but then I wasn't interested in any ladder, but I didn't want to factor in the underdog either. I think Arsenal will probably win, But yeah, Arsenal is half time is 4-5 minus 125. But
yeah, so my first thought when I looked at this, 3-10 Arsenal is a very short price for the form they're in. As you say, 3 defeats in a row, just 1 win in 7. Then you look at Palace, just 1 win in 10 for Palace in all competitions. And it probably is a good fixture for Arsenal to bounce back. But even at home, Arsenal have lost the last 2. 6 of the last 7 Arsenal games have gone under 2.5 goals, which sort of pushed us that way at first. But then you look at the Palace, and Palace have gone over 2.5 in the last 4 of the last 5. So sort of contrasting form lines there. But I think while Arsenal are struggling for goals, and Palace are often capable of keeping things tight in games like this, I felt I could lean towards Palace, not to win the game or anything, but possibly on the handicap. Arsenal have won just 4 of the last 10 league games now, and only 2 of them were won by more than a single goal. We've said all season Arsenal aren't blowing anyone away at the moment, and I just think Palace can keep it close. I'll take Palace on the handicap plus 1.5 at 10-11 minus 110. So I'm not saying Palace will win it, but Palace can lose by a goal, and I'll still cash that. So yeah, the bet for me is Palace on the handicap plus 1.5 at 10-11.
Yeah, I think we're both kind of on the same lines there, just to sort of keep it close. Arsenal allege it, but there wasn't much attractive in any of these markets. This next game, I'm pleased you're leading off here, Baz, because I've changed my mind on this 3 or 4 times in the last 3 or 4 hours. The game is a 5:30 kickoff, 12:30 Eastern time between Brentford and Nottingham Forest. Brentford are 9-10, minus 111. The draw is 13-5 plus 260. And Nottingham Forest are 3-1, Barry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm leading off, Malcolm, but I've got a very brief summary for this one and a short price pick as well. First of all, Ivan Toney returns this weekend, so definitely keen to keep an eye out, see how he gets on. Brentford in horrible form, though. And my initial lean here would have been towards Forest, just due to the current form of the two sides. But then Forest have made hard work of Blackpool, drew with them last week, drew with them, went extra time tonight. So has the new manager bounce came to an end? Who knows? Ivan Toney sort of brings a different element to Brentford now. Is it enough? Is he just going to turn up, wave a magic wand, and suddenly Brentford are back to, as the sort of levels we were at last season? I'm not so sure about that. No win in 7 for Brentford. But they have managed to score a goal in each of those, in 6 of those 7 games. So even when they're losing, they're still scoring a goal. I haven't seen enough of Forest to trust them to win this away as an underdog. I mean, they're a reasonable price here, Forest. What do we say? 3-1 Forest is a big price. But I didn't fancy them. I decided to go with both teams to score. I just feel like it's an obvious play. It's hitting 5, the last 5 for Brentford. No, it's hit the last 5 for Brentford, and 4 of the last 5 for Forest. So the pick for me, it is a short price at 3-4. But Brentford, Forest, both teams to score, Malcolm.
So my instinct was the same as yours, Forest. You look at the teams and you look at the prices and you want to pick Forest because Brentford are in manky form. Forest have been quite lively in places. Well, the last 2 league games, again, seems like forever ago, but the last 2 league games were wins against Manchester United and Newcastle United. And obviously I was quite impressed with them up here. Dog shit form for Brentford. Won 1 and lost 7 out of the last 8. They've gone out of the cup. The manager's having a bit of a wobble as well. He seems to be stamping his feet and stuff. They're missing some players as well. I think it's a supporting cast. Even if Toney comes back, I think the supporting cast struggling. Johan Wissa is in Africa. I saw him. He was in that clash of the lovely kids tonight, playing for the Congo. Fred Onyeka's away as well. What difference he makes, I don't know. But half of the Forest squad are in Africa as well, though. They've got 6 players away, Baz. And also, so initially I went Forest, had to be Forest. But then you have a look, Forest are missing 6 players, and they're quite important players as well. Willy Bolly, Nia Carty is one of their really good players that I like. And now Morgan Gibbs-White, he missed tonight. He looks like he's going to miss a couple of weeks. And he's their best player by a country mile. So I had to revisit this. I had Forest written down, but I had to revisit it, Baz. And I talked myself out of both teams. I don't want either. Two below strength, below par sides, Barry. I'm going to go with the under 2.5 goals. This very much might be the 1-1 of the week. I haven't put it down, but you've taken both teams to score. I'm taking the under 2.5. This might just have a little 1-1. I just didn't trust anybody. Forest extra time as well tonight. So from 4 o'clock this afternoon, I just saw more and more things that took me out of wanting to back Forest. So, we'll go with the under 2.5 goals, Barry. That is 19 to 20 minus 105. Okay, next up, I'll tell you about Cut. Bit of peer-to-peer social betting. We love a bit of this in this country, but it's new to the States. Available in 40 states. Cut offering low VIC, fully customizable odds. And you can bet directly against your friends or other users on whatever you want. Sports, politics, pop culture. You'll get cash back every time you bet against your friends. Social features. Cut is the peer-to-peer social betting platform that is US-based and legal in 40 states. Head to KUTT.com. Use the promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. And Underdog Fantasy. A great way to play alongside your favourite fantasy players all season long. NFL, NBA, NHL, college basketball and football. Pick higher or lower on your favourite players' fantasy stats and cash in. Watch along, make your picks. Maybe make a little cash over on Underdog's mobile app or website, underdogfantasy.com. Sign up with the promo code SGPN. Underdog, double your first deposit up to $100. Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN. I know a lot of the SGPN staff here have been making hay on these underdog promotions on the NFL playoffs. There's been some really good winners knocking around. So keep an eye out on Twitter for those little graphics that go out. Sunday, 2 games on Sunday, lunchtime, 2 o'clock. What time's that? 9 a.m. Eastern time. It's Sheffield United taking on West Ham United. Sheffield are 12 to 5 plus 240. The door's 23 to 10 plus 230. West Ham 6 to 5 plus 120. I'm going to start with West Ham here, even though they are the away team, Barry, because I'm putting West Ham on the naughty step. I'm putting them in auto feed from now till the end of the season. For a couple of weeks, they were dog shit last night, really, really bad, and that sort of drew attention to what I've been suspecting for a little while, and what I've been seeing from West Ham supporters, what I've been hearing from West Ham supporters, is that they've really, really overperformed. I'm not entirely sure how they're sitting 6th in the table. They're missing Paqueta. They can't do anything. The fans really don't like the football, or David Moyes particularly. So there's a couple of ways you can fade them. You can fade them on a weekly basis, take the up, or Baz. I've got a little future here. And it's so, like I said, they're currently sitting in 6th. They've got a 5-point cushion over the team in 11th. But I think they're going to finish in the bottom half, Baz. I think they're just going to take a bit of a dive here. They are 72 plus 450 to finish in the bottom half of the table. So you need Man United, Brighton, Chelsea, Newcastle and Wolves can all easily go past them. They could fall in a bit of a hole, West Ham. The problem with fading them here is that Sheffield United are complete cack. They're 20th with 9 points and they've only won twice. The 2 games they have won are fairly similar comps, maybe, Wolves and Brentford. They led quite late on against Luton Town at home last time. They were usurped by 2 own goals. So I think they're live here, but I want a bigger price. Plus 240, 12 to 5 isn't big enough for me to want to back them. Sheffield United have only got 1 clean sheet this season. So my way of fading West Ham this week is to give Sheffield United a goal. Both teams to score, Baz, is 4 to 5 minus 125.
I mean, I've gone down a similar route. I've started my notes with West Ham. I just put they're an absolute mystery. Just don't get them. Don't know what to make of them. Don't know how to handicap them. You know, they couldn't beat Bristol over 2 games. Before that, they had a 0-0 with Brighton. Prior to that, it was 2 solid results. They beat Arsenal 2-0. They beat Man United 2-0. Then there was that 5-1 cup defeat to Liverpool. There was a 5-0 defeat to Fulham. They're just all over the place. Like, just can't work them out. So that, for me, says you avoid West Ham at the moment. But then, as you say, Sheffield United aren't showing many signs themselves. So I also wanted to fade West Ham. I also didn't think West Ham were big enough price. Sheffield United were a big enough price to take. So I've gone right bang in the middle, Malcolm. I'm going for a draw here. I'm going to take Sheffield United to avoid defeat. Because I looked at Sheffield United a double chance and it was a bit too short. So I'm just going to take a chance on the draw here. Sheffield United v West Ham, draw 23-10.
Yeah, I mean, really, for the positions that the two teams are in, West Ham are a giant price. If you just handicapped it kind of on bare form, on bare numbers, you take West Ham every single time. But there's obviously something in your mind as well as my mind from stuff that we've seen that makes us not want to take West Ham. Next up, tea time on Sunday, 4:30 kickoff, 11:30 Eastern time. Bournemouth take on Liverpool. Bournemouth are Burlington Bertie 100-30, plus 333. The draw is 16-5 plus 320, and Liverpool are the Jollies at 7-10 minus 142. Barry.
Yeah, so before I'd even looked at the prices, come into it thinking Bournemouth are a big enough price. I could be tempted here because I still don't feel like Liverpool have that sort of aura around them that they've had in the past. No. I still think there's vulnerabilities with Liverpool. I still think teams can get at them. They are getting the results, no doubt about that. But Bournemouth in cracking form, just one defeat in 9. And they've won 7 of those 9 games as well. So it's not like padded out with loads of draws. But ultimately, I sort of looked at the run of teams Bournemouth have played in that spell. And I think Liverpool are better than anything they've come up against in that period. The only, one of the other strong teams to come up against was Spurs recently, who beat them 3-1. And I think that's possibly a good comparison for this game, although that was Spurs at home to Bournemouth as opposed to here where Liverpool are on the road. But Liverpool have won the last 3 away games, and 2 of them they've won by 2 or more. They've also had that 2-0 win at last weekend over Arsenal in the FA Cup. So the handicap is getting hit often enough by Liverpool, even on the road, and even against all right teams. As I say, Arsenal in the Cup, although it was a late second goal that done that. But despite coming into it thinking Bournemouth, I think the handicap price for Liverpool is okay. I've taken Liverpool minus 1.5 on the handicap here at 13-8. So that's plus 167, possibly.
Yeah, I'll give you that, Baz, here. Liverpool plus minus 1.5, plus 167. I made all my notes for this game, Barry, and could not get to a pick. I did this at like 2 o'clock this afternoon. And I had to come back to it. I said, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to come back 6 or 7 hours later. And I eventually got to a pick, which I'm still scratching my head about. Bournemouth in good form. 6 wins in 8. It's home, they've been all right. The last 3 home games, they won 2-0 against Newcastle, 2-2 with Villa, and they humped, was it Fulham 3-0, I think? So they've been scoring goals. But Liverpool have got some problems here. They're missing Salah for a start. Salah's off slotting 97th minute VAR penalties for Egypt, just to change the scenery for him. And their away form isn't stellar. They've won 5, and they haven't lost many, but they've only won 5 of the 10 away from home. All the markets for goals are really, really short. So I'm going to take a little risk here, Baz, on the under on the Liverpool team total. Liverpool under 1.5 goals. 4 of their last 10 games, they've failed to score twice. So the price is spot on. The price is right bang on the money. So I've got no problem with that. They did score 2 at Sheffield United, 2 at Burnley, 2 at Palace. But they're dog shit teams, and they're not battering teams at all. Bournemouth are in better form, and you just take Salah out. They're also missing Trent Alexander-Arnold. They're missing Endo, which isn't a massive difference, but it does just weaken the squad a little bit. And Bournemouth have kept 2 clean sheets of the last 3 at home. So I'm going to give Bournemouth a puncher's chance here. Not brave enough to take them, but I think they're going to limit Liverpool to 1 goal. So Liverpool under 1.5 is 6-4 plus 150. Final game is this Monday night? Yep, 7:45 on Monday, 2:45 Eastern time. So we'll we can have a chat about this on Sunday night as well, Baz, but we'll include it here for the sake of getting everything complete. Brighton and Hove Albion take on Wolverhampton Wanderers. Brighton 11-17, minus 153. The draw is 16-5, plus 320. Wolves are out at 4-1. Brighton are just booling along, being very average at the moment. Long gone are the days when everyone was windmilling their willies around every time Brighton kicked the football. And they've only won 5 and 10 at home, so they're just too short. I don't want them at home. I don't want them at effectively 1-2 when they've only win half of their home games against similar teams to Wolves as well. Because Wolves are only 3 points behind him as it stands. So for the teams to be 1-2 and 4-1 seems there's quite a big disparity there. Wolves, I would take them, and we did say at the start of the season, we'd look for spots to get at Brighton. Brighton do tend to give it away at big prices, but Wolves' away form just worries me a little bit. They won at Brentford. Again, Brentford have caught some strays tonight, but Brentford are in terrible form. But Wolves conceded 3 at West Ham, 2 at Arsenal, 3 at Fulham, 2 at Sheffield United, 3 at Palace. So I don't really want to take Wolves in this spot. That was my instinct, but that away form worries me. So I've pivoted back to the goals, Baz. Both teams to score and over 2.5, I think looks a great bet. And it's odds against, Barry. It's plus money. That is 21-20 plus 105.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how many teams are dead to Mafia in the chat.
I was just going to say, James has killed a lot of teams off recently.
He says Brentford are dead to him because they cost him. And now Wolves are also dead to him, I assume, for the same reasons. They went extra time. To be fair, I've nailed Wolves lately, despite having had a mare early in the season with Wolves. I took them this week. I said I fancied Wolves, but the pick for me was Wolves to score 2 or more. And it's perfect when it finishes with that 2-2, isn't it? Because you've hit the winner, despite the fact they didn't win. And I've done exactly the same with Forest this week. So I do love, sometimes I say all over and over again, sometimes when you fancy a team to win, sometimes if you don't fancy the 1-0, just take the team total instead. And more often than not, it's done me well this year. There has been one game, I think, where I got done with a 1-0 win. So it's always worth looking out for. I've got exactly the same pick, Mal. I didn't have much written down here. Over 2.5 and both to score at evens. Wolves have only failed to score once all season. And I think Brighton have just 1 clean sheet all season as well. So I was tempted with Wolves. And I was tempted with Wolves goals again. But we'll hang on to that for a little bit because I might come up later in the show when we get to the fancy stuff. I say later in the show. We're pretty much there now. But the pick for me, Brighton v Wolves, is the same as you. Over 2.5 goals and both teams to score at evens.
Ooh, team ride, Baz. Yeah, we have got through this pretty quick. We normally will make this whatever we talk about fit an hour, but we've gone pretty rapid tonight. Must be the gin and the funerals hanging around.
I'm ready for bed, Malcolm. That's why I'm rushing through it. Yeah. My head's getting worse. The longer this goes on, the more my head starts to hurt. Like,
take your tie off, Baz, at least, man. Loosen your tie. Lloyd was joined in the chat, congratulating mainly Baz, although we both did all right for his FA Cup picks. Cheers, Lloyd, appreciate it. We'll get on the fancy stuff then. Hall of Fame bets, I will just mention first, helping everybody, including me and you, win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season. It's a sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, game lines. We can research NFL, NBA, and soccer bets with historical stats and data. Put your picks into the Parlay Optimizer tool, and they'll break everything down for you. Expected probabilities, sort players by hit rates, all that sort of shenanigans. So stop betting in the dark. Join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame bets and get in the merch store. 15% off everything. Promo code playoffs. Go and buy some stuff. Why the hell not? Barry, exotic stuff. I don't know what's Courtney laughing at. I'm going to go first, Baz. Screw you. Anytime goal scorer I just in that last game spelled out that Wolves have been very leaky on the road. You see, 3 at West Ham, 2 at Arsenal, 3 at Fulham, etc. So we'll go with Evan Ferguson, Baz. Proper centre forward, good player. He is 5-1 to score first and last, and 6-4 plus 150 any time. So Evan Ferguson for Brighton for me. Little treble for my parlay is to both teams to score treble, Baz. Sheffield United, West Ham, Bournemouth, Liverpool, and Brighton Wolves. That pays 7-2 plus 350. And for my dog, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to give out Forest, I think, because that was my initial. There's 2 years instinct. Immediately looked at the fixtures, wrote down Forest, wrote down Wolves, and then talked myself out of both as mitigating circumstances. But Brentford are in a bit of a mess, so Forest might go and turn them over. So throw out Forest. Yeah, so that's my stuff, Baz.
Right, for me, scorer, I've got to take a chance on Ivan Toney just coming back and getting something. It's not a big price, but 5-4 Ivan Toney to score anytime is a nice one to get stuck into. You just feel he's got to be coming back firing on. He's been,
pens as well, won't he? Straight back on pens.
So, I'd say a bit of a narrative there. Lloyd was saying the same. So the scorer for me is Ivan Toney. The underdog, I've gone for Wolves. As you say, we've only got 5 games. It's hard, really, to pick an underdog out of these. And similar when we're coming to like Akas and stuff like that. Hard when you've only got the 5 games. So I've gone for Wolves at 4-1 as my underdog of the week. And then for the Aka, I've just got a double, Malcolm. And it's 10-1 for the double. And I really like it. I look at it and I just think both of these outcomes have got a really, really strong chance. And 10-1 sounds very generous. So I've gone with 2 picks that have done me well in the midweek. And that's Wolves to score 2 or more and Forest to score 2 or more. I backed the Forest 2 or more was because they'd done this in sort of 3 of the last 4 games. And now they've done it in 4 of the last 5 games. And Wolves, similar, have been regularly hitting at least a couple of goals. Forest at Brentford can score 2 goals, no problem. Wolves at Brighton can easily score because everyone scores 1 against Brighton anyway. You only got to find that other one somewhere. 10-1 double. Forest and Wolves to score 2 or more. I love that pick. It might not win, but I think 10-1 is a great price for something that. See, I just look at it and think both of them are individually good prices. You're getting about 5-2 for each of them. So that's where I've gone with my Aka. It's a simple double. Forest and Wolves team totals, both to score 2 or more, 10-1.
Did you throw your dog out, Baz, as well?
Wolves. I went with Wolves at 4-1.
Wolves as your dog. Yeah, that little 10-1 double, Baz, is reminiscent of the old arse sniffer of the week, which you were quite good at the start of the season, like where you ferret around and find something. And that sounds great. Like I'm sure I'll get involved in that. That's we need a bit of a team, right? Everyone who's listening, I think will be drawn to that as well. And I think we're done, Baz. 38 minutes on the ground. You're tired and emotional. Courtney's enjoying your little hangover, Barry, which is funny.
A couple of little things.
Notice the listenership has gone through the roof for the last 30 seconds of the show, like it always does. It always doubles in the last minute. It's like people are trying to get a loyalty card or something. I was there. Count me in. It's still going up. Look at this.
It's picking up.
Every
if
10
you've just
seconds.
turned up now, if you've just turned up now, we are about to go. But whilst you're here, press the thumbs up and press the subscribe button and follow my new TikTok account and do all of those things and keep coming back. But it's really good tonight. We've had a lot more people in the chat again.
Yeah, it does.
We're getting loads of interaction now, which is really good.
TikTok refugees, I think, Baz.
Yeah, they are. They're all sort of lost now with my TikTok account.
It's still going up.
So on the TikTok subject, do follow the new account at @ToonBars on TikTok. Let's try and get it back up so I can go live again. Pat is asking, what is a TikTok? He thinks we're talking about clocks or something. It's a young man's game, is TikTok, Pat, which is why I'm involved and Malcolm isn't. Funny one, though. Chloe was at school the other day, and one of the lads from school said, Chloe, your dad's famous, isn't he? And she went, what? On TikTok. And she went, no anymore. He's had his account banned, and just laughed.
Oh, no.
But She was, but yeah, she was laughing about the fact one of the lads in school was like, "Oh, that's your dad, isn't it? Your dad's on TikTok."
Yeah,
And
Barry.
I was at a funeral today, and my cousin was there with his partner, who I haven't really met before. I haven't not seen my cousin for years, and she was telling me she was at work, and someone said, "Oh, your other half's a Penaluna, isn't he?" Yeah, he's a Penaluna. Does he know Barry Penaluna? And she was like, "I think it's his cousin." But I don't know him personally. I'm like, oh, just because I listen to the podcast he does, a podcast about football and gambling. And of course, she went home to Michael, who's my cousin, and said, "Oh, is Barry your cousin? Does he do a podcast with football and gambling?" Michael's like, that'll be Barry. Definitely, that'll be Barry. So yeah, people are finding out about us in all corners of the earth, like, which is good. It keeps cropping up everywhere.
You are famous, Barry. Well done. Smash it. Right. Well, that was fun. And yeah.
And I'm off another thing, Malcolm. One last thing. I'm off ground hopping at the weekend. I'm going to Notts County down at Meadow Lane.
Oh, you are, yeah.
Notts County versus Stockport.
So, great game, that.
It'll be a good game. Stockport, top of the league. Notts County, ship goals for fun. Score plenty of goals. So I'm taking the family. Less than 50 quid for a family of 4 to go down to Notts County. So that's where we shall be.
Oh, tremendous. Good. Send us a couple of photos. Hope you get tons of goals. Right. Thanks, everybody who joined in the chat. There was loads of people in. Enjoyed it a lot. We'll be back on Sunday night to talk you through all of these winners that were booked. Captain Sado's joined in late doors asking if it's bin night. Yeah, you need to put your bin out, didn't you? Put your bin out in your funeral suit, Faz.
Interestingly, Malcolm, we don't have as much rubbish this week, so I haven't got the spare bag. So there's no like illegal manoeuvres tonight. I'll just put my bin out. That'll be it. Quite straightforward one tonight. Lots of people have noticed I've had a bit of a trim up top, and there's been a lot of mention about the haircut and beard trim tonight. So very observant.
Yes, you do look like a snooker ball, Barry. Thanks, everybody. Good luck with your bets. Back on Sunday. We'll see you down the road. Cheers.